Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. Today we are going to do something special. We are going to do an experiment. Do you remember the triplets? These succulents are from the lot that we got from IKEA. So they came from one pot, but there are 3 heads inside. If you have not watched that video, I will link it up here or down in the description down below. You can check out that video to see how these succulents originally look like, or the other succulents that I got from IKEA and what succulents IKEA offers. So I did the surgeries for these succulents, and what I did was I took them out from the soil. I took some leaves for propagation, and because the stem was long, so I cut it out and leave them to dry for about 3 days until the stems are calloused like this. Alright, so let me explain what we are going to do. For today's video, we are going to do an experiment about water versus air versus soil propagation through succulent cuttings. So why am I doing this? Because in this experiment, I would like to see which is the best and the fastest way to grow roots using these succulent cuttings. I wish to give each way a fair chance. That's why I'm using the triplets, because they are of the same kind, the same size, and same health status, I guess. Okay, let's get going. First, let me show you how I prepared each medium that we are going to use for this experiment. We are going to use the same glass. Actually, we use this glass for some of our succulent arrangements, and yeah, I'm going to fill it with the different mediums, the soil, the water, and the air. I then put saran wrap, cling wrap on top of the glass for the air and the water propagation, just to have a kind of support when I put the succulent cuttings on. I taped the saran wrap around the glass. You can use any kind of tape that you have. Anyway, this is what I got, and this is just to make sure that the saran wrap can hold the weight of the succulent. Now let me show you what I'm going to do for the air propagation. So I'm going to poke a hole in the middle with my knife. Please be careful when you are handling a knife. And yes, so I'm going to poke a hole in the middle big enough for the stem to go in, and yeah, poke some little holes around just for the air to flow through. That's all we have to do for the air propagation. Now moving on to soil propagation, I am using the same glass, of course, and all I did was to fill it with the moist potting mix that I have, and that's all I did. I'm not gonna cover it with any saran wrap. Finally, for the water propagation, I just filled the same glass with water. I covered it with saran wrap. I taped the saran wrap around the glass, and just to make sure that it can support the succulent. And same thing, I'm going to poke a hole in the middle and the small holes around. Same thing that we did for the air propagation. And that's all that we have to do to prepare the mediums that we're going to use for this experiment. And now all we have to do is to put the succulent cuttings in. So that is our setup for this experiment. Again, the purpose of this video is for us to see which is the best and the fastest way to grow roots from succulent cuttings using different mediums or different ways. Here we use water versus air versus soil propagation, and I'm going to put this setup indoors nearby a window, and I will not give them any special lighting, any grow lights of any sort. And yeah, I'm going to show you the progress each week, and I'm going to do that in a span of 4 weeks. And by the end of the month, we are going to have a close comparison of how each of the succulent cuttings, or how much root did they grow in the span of 4 weeks. Okay, so let's find out. Hi, it has been a week now since we did the setup for our experiment, and I just want to show you where I placed them. So they don't have any other special lighting over here, not direct sunlight as well. And now I'm going to show you some close-up of the root progress of each cutting. So here we have the water propagation, and as you can see, wow, it has grown some roots already. Yes, it's only been a week. Can you see that? Okay. Now here's a close-up of the root growth of our air propagation. So the root growth is not as long as the water propagation growth, but root growth nonetheless. For the soil propagation, this is all I can show you. I can't see the root growth inside, and I don't want to pull the succulent cuttings out. And yeah, anyway, the succulent looks healthy. It has been 2 weeks now since we did the experiment on the succulent cuttings propagation. So we did air versus water versus soil propagation through succulent cuttings, and today I'm going to show you a close-up look on how the succulents are doing. So this is our air propagation, and to me, air propagation looks good. The succulent looks healthy, not much change over this succulent. And now this water propagation is still the same. I mean, the succulent still looks the same. Yep. And lastly, the soil propagation, they still have pink tips. And yeah, not much of overstretching. Yes, so now let's give you a close-up look on how the roots are growing. So this is the air propagation that we did. So it has been 2 weeks now, and I can see more roots over here, and the roots are just tiny bit longer than the first time. I mean the first week, and yeah, I think it grew a bit more of roots. Okay, now let's do the soil propagation. Again, I can't show you how it looks inside because I do not want to pull the succulents out and hurt the roots inside. So nonetheless, the succulent looks okay to me. Yeah. All right. Now let's go on to the big development over here. As you can see, just one more week. There are lots of roots now, added roots, and the roots are getting longer. I think this is about 2 inches long now. Yeah. Okay, so far the water propagation has more and longer root growth. And that's the update after 2 weeks of our root growth. Now, on the third week of our succulent cutting root growth experiment, and this is how they are looking. So I can see a little bit of stretching over there. Look at the root growth over here. Okay, so succulent looks healthy to me. Here is the water propagation. Look at those roots. They are just like webs of roots. They have grown so much longer from the last time we've seen it. And succulent is looking healthy as ever. I'm really happy with this water propagation and this air propagation. As you can see, the roots are longer. I think that's about an inch or a centimeter or centimeter and a half of growth and more roots. Yeah. And succulents are doing okay. Yep. It looks healthy to me. It looks okay to me. And this soil propagation, I can see that there are some roots over there. Are they roots? I think they are. What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. All right. But I can see a little bit of stretching on the succulent. It definitely has grown a little bit taller. Yep, but succulent looks okay to me. It looks healthy to me. So yep, that's 3 week update. Hi everyone, it's been a month now since we have started this experiment. If you can remember, we did the experiment on the succulent cutting propagation and we used different mediums like the water versus air versus soil propagation. So I promised that I will show you a close-up comparison of the root growth of each of the succulent cuttings that we did. So yep, I'm going to show you. We did the water propagation. I just dipped it in water, put the saran wrap over there to support the succulent cuttings. Same goes with the air propagation that we did. And for the last month, we have not been seeing how much growth, root growth is happening on our soil propagation because we can't see through the soil. So today I'm going to pull out the succulent cuttings from the soil and we will be able to see how much it has grown. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I just have a tray here where I can lay the succulent cuttings later, and I also have some tools, some tweezers to help me pick out all the succulent cuttings. And there you go. This is the result of the experiment that we did. We did the propagation on succulent cuttings using the different mediums, air, soil, and water. And as you can see over here, it is actually the water propagation that produced much more root growth for the succulent cuttings. So yeah, based on this experiment that we did, water propagation is indeed the fastest and the best way of propagating succulent cuttings. However, this is not the end of the journey for the triplets. I still have some plans. I still have another video to do with them. So what I'm planning to do is to put them back into their medium for another 2 weeks. After that, I'm going to transfer the other two into a soil, and in that video or in that activity I would like to see how will they survive when we introduce them into the soil. So if you want to know how will they do in the soil, please watch out for my next video. Anyway, that is it for today's, you guys. I really had fun making these videos, and I hope that you've learned something today. And if you want to watch more of these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.